Welcome to Wilcom Embroidery Fonts. I'm going to show you how using a script Flexi fill you can weld the objects together to create one continuous object. I'm just going to type in the word Wilcom and I'm going to resize that to approximately 200 millimeters wide. Now I can come in and hit the H key and I can adjust the spacing of the letters. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of space between those letters because I'm going to put a border around it. But where these letters join, I want to make sure that I have them overlapped as you normally would when you're dealing with a script font. Now this M I'll put maybe here so that I leave approximately the same spacing as I did between the W and the top of the I. Now that I have my letters in place, I'm going to select the entire object and I'm going to go in and I'm going to break it apart, and I'm going to select the entire object again and I'll break it apart one more time. Now it's broken down into its rawest forms. So when I select this and I go to my edit objects, you're going to see that there is a tool highlighted that is called weld. Now just to show you, I'll go out of true view first and I'm going to weld these objects together. And you can see that they're now welded all as one piece within the I, the L, the C, and the O. Now that I've done that, I'm going to duplicate that object and change the color. And because I have these two objects separate now, I could go into colors and I can grab the first one, and if I wanted to make that a fill, and then I wanted to grab the second one, and let's say I wanted to make this an outline with a satin stitch, let's change this to 2 millimeters. I can very quickly create an outlined object with a 2 millimeter border. If I wanted to, I could increase the size of this, and let's make this even larger. Let's just go to a full jacket back and go about 280 millimeters. Hit enter. And I would have wanted to have grabbed both of those objects, so let's just undo for a second, hit Control A, and we'll change both of those objects to 280. And now I could take this object and I'm going to duplicate that one. So now I have a duplicated object within itself. If I look at my second object, I'm going to make that a different color as well, and let's turn that into a single run stitch. Then what I could do is I could take that single run, I'll go back to my colors, and I'll duplicate that one as well. I'll go back to my objects and I'll grab that last highlighted object, and let's make that a different color again, and this time I'm going to do a zigzag stitch. And let's make sure that I have absolutely no underlay on that zigzag. Now what I've done here is I've set myself up to create what could be an applique, or an applique with a motif stitch. Because these are objects, I could take this and I could create this as any type of motif that I want. So if I look at these colors and start to organize them, I have a placement stitch, which shows me where to put the fabric. I have a tack down. Then I have my applique going down. It would then do the motif, and then I have a border stitch around the outside. So this is in essence creating a full jacket back applique with a motif stitch at the click of a button. Now the beautiful part of this is, if I want to, I can grab that original object and I'm going to grab just the first object, and I can come into my tools and I can output to an SVG file. So I'm going to export a cutting file, and I'll just export that as SVG, and now I'm going to have a SVG file that will cut perfectly the shape for the applique.